Well, hello everyone. What a beautiful day it is for Labor Day here in Texas. A lot of sunshine, but very, very hot. But looking forward to a end of the week. We have a cold front coming in. It's going to drop our temperature down in the 80s. So, my, it's getting time for fall. And I know that a lot of people are looking forward to it this year because of the hot that we've had the end of the summer, and we're back into the looks like the drought area. In our location, we're under a fire ban. We cannot burn anything outside. Anyway, but I hope a lot of people are having the day off. I used to always laugh about Labor Day. I used to wonder what it meant, and it should be a day off for everybody that labors, but you find people that have to work. I always say those 24-hour round-the-clock stores that stay open, poor people never get any time off except one day a year, and that's usually at Christmas. And that's a sad time because I remember the holidays were a day of rejoicing. We used to have the day off, and people would actually go on picnics, do all kinds of things. We're looking forward to different times of the year, and but the holidays were always special around my home when I was a little girl because generally it brought in the family, and then it also brought in my the times of cooking of the good foods that we didn't barbecue back in my day. I don't remember ever barbecuing outside. But the women fried chicken, made mashed potatoes, fixed gravy, green beans, fresh vegetables out of the garden, and the topping was always a wonderful cake made by my mother. It would either be a good pound cake, and she made it by scratch. She didn't have a recipe, or a cake that would be a tiered cake. And oh, the best one I ever loved was the one that she made would be with the fudge icing. And she actually cooked the icing that went on the cake. I can hear her making that cake, or see her making that cake right now. Probably hear her saying a pinch of this and a pinch of that and a little pour of that, and things that was so special. But anyway, I guess I started out this because I finally finished a journal that I had started, and I just couldn't get with it. I had too much other stuff going on, and I didn't put a lot of pages in it. Well, it's fat enough as it is, but anyway, I just show that because one of the things that I remember so well, and I guess I should have said this, was the homemade ice cream, and I miss those days. My daughter still makes homemade ice cream, but I miss those days. And I guess as life goes on and you get busier as you get older, time just runs into another day. I'm proud that I'm waking up, having another day. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day today, and I wanted to start this journal off, and I'm probably going to get a lot of light in it. I haven't really named this journal. It was just, this was actually I think it was a picture album, and this had these beautiful roses on it. So when I messed my journal up, I kept thinking, oh, I was going to do it all in material, but it didn't work out. I messed up the first cuts, and I went, how can I recover? So I just recovered it with cardstock and decided to put it in this journal. And I added a little flower up here. And this down here is kind of, looks like a leather of some sort. I don't know whether you'd call it alligator or what, but I found it at Michael's one time in their clearance, and I bought just about, I think, all the pieces they had. They had it real cheap, and I covered the inside with it too, because I just thought that that went really pretty. I love using black, and you'll notice the cardstock is in black that I used. The front and back were, I fixed a little page on the back, but the front I haven't done anything to. I don't know whether I will or not. I thought about making a pocket here and adding something to it, but anyway, I think I've showed some of these pages once before, but this is actually fabric here, and I have put it on the cardstock. I made this piece of crochet here. Maybe that's another thing that's got me in memory was this piece of crochet was a piece that I cut from, I made a heart out of a piece that was just something my mother had crocheted a long time ago, and the doily had messed up, so I just cut a heart out of it, and not intending then that I would ever make journals, but or fabric journals. And this is eyelash that I've, in the little bird nest type thing here is made from just strings. And then the little bird I printed off onto from some blog I got that allowed you to have free prints, and the little bird was I made it onto fabric and made a heart out of it, and then put around it the little flowers. And then I just have a little cut this off of an old skirt, made a stick pin, and added a tag in here, which is a tag that's a bird cage. That was another thing. My mother always loved her canaries, and she even raised the baby canaries, and they were always such singers. And I cut this off, this applique off of an old blouse. Of course, this is just seam binding. Anyway, this I put a little padding behind it. I thought it turned out real pretty. So I'm going to continue and show you the rest. And this one here is, see if I can get this. I'm trying to do this at a different angle, but I think it's kind of hard to do. Anyway, this page here, I've added these tags. And this one here was a tag I made quite a while back, and it's got Remember Me and love on it, and I just decorated it. And I think that I had bought the tag with the picture on it and then added more to it. So, and I just stamped on it. And anyway, some of the first tags I bought. And this little flower that I made here, and I did it with, it's a bottle cap. And this is a piece of one of those curtain materials that I've bought before. And this right here is pattern paper, and that I made a little flower around that. I love to use that tissue pattern paper. I think it's so pretty. I've made some flowers with it, and may show that later. And then this page here, it's got a doily on it. And this is also, I stuffed behind this to make her raised up. I've seen this picture a lot. I think I got it off of Pinterest. Anyway, that's a little crocheted flower that I made with a little flat back pearl in the middle, and I went around it with the trim. And this page here, I have an old corset type tag that I made. Made a little flower here out of the crocheted, and I love that piece of scrapbook paper. Let's see if I get it in there pretty good. This one I just added an old pair of gloves. I have a lot of gloves. Oh my goodness, I want to use them in a lot of things, but I didn't fix them so that they're there to stay. But I made this little flower, and this was made out of some of that wire ribbon, and then I put lace behind it. But I took the wire out of the ribbon and cut that. It was just a real pretty piece of ribbon I had, and I said, well, you know what, I think that'd make a pretty flower. And then this back here is just a doily, and then I made a little tag, and I'm going to add a key onto this, but I haven't done it yet. But I had stamped a key, and so I just thought that turned out pretty. It went with the little older times when, guess what, I used to wear gloves all the time. We always wore them to church. My mother definitely did. And this right here is just one of those sacks I've cut up and used it. I added some of my personal cards in here that my children have got me because the sack wouldn't stay perfect in there. That's a pretty one, mother. And then over here, I made a little sniplet and just hung a couple of little stringers out of it. Cut them off of a pretty lace and just have a bookmark in here. It says, mothers plant the seeds of love. And so true. And on the back it's got a mother's prayer. And I had intended to redo this butterfly and fix it up in lace, but I haven't done that yet. I may do that later. And down here at the bottom I have, that wasn't on that page, it's on this page. Sorry, I haven't got on the wrong page. It says trademark, which these are old. I have a lot of magazines that have a lot of this in it. That I have some old magazines. I'm going to take that out. And it says best in the world. Can't read it backwards. But that's just, I just thought that page made cute pockets. All right, let me go on. This one here, I used a wedding applique. These little girls look like they're all decorated up. Maybe on their first little outing to go dancing or something. And I thought about how they used to use those little books to, so I made this one. And it says, stamped it, it says dream big. I don't know whether y'all can see that or not. I'm trying to fix it. And I took the little applique here and some of those ribbon rosettes. And in that book I have a little applique that I stained. I did all this stamping and staining and such on this with some of that distress stain. And it says, live bold, be bold, have fun, and dream. And that's what life is kind of about. We have to live bold, even if we live for Jesus or live for the Lord. In this day and time, we got to be bold. And if we don't have fun and dream, I don't know what else we could do. And I know with our creative crafting, it's always fun to dream about what you're going to do. But sometimes I have more dreams than I do. Anyway, I like this page, and this was some lace my daughter and I picked up at we should have got every bit of it. We got a bunch of it at a resale shop, and it just turned out really pretty on there. And then this is the last page. Remember when? The old buggy, a little girl carrying a flower, and this is some old lace. And here is this is a little game that somebody had, I got it one time, and anybody had ever used it. It's got a lot of pretty little neat cards. And I made this little yo-yo up out of lace and put an old pearled button on it. And added the lace up here and just cut some of those lace pieces and added on the side. And this one I intend to put some more stuff around it. I think it needs a little bit more lace or color around it. All right, that's the end of that book. And I'm going to quickly show you a picture of my mother because, like I said, times remembered. When she was a baby, check that buggy out, y'all. And check my mother. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman, and beautiful baby was she. And anyway, I just thought I'd show that because I cannot believe that buggy and how we think of safety today. Can you believe that one? But they do have a strap across there holding her in. All right, y'all have a wonderful day, and y'all be safe in Jesus, and I will be back. Bye-bye.